Whoa, it's Steph, and I'm back on page EX157 for more fun in our Tutorial 3 Excel workbook. We're doing fitness tracker, and right now, if you remember correctly, we left off calories subtotal, and that was in cell M21. We did that as the label, and now we're going to select range L22 to L44. So L22 to L44. Select that whole range, and then down here we've got the quick analysis button. Depress that and click the totals category. So we're going to look at totals, okay, and then scroll to the right to the end of the totals, so all the way to the end of the totals there. And we want to do a running total, so click on running total, and as you can see there, we have a running total. And if you look at the screen capture in figure 320, note that your numbers, you may panic for a second. You might think, oh my gosh, I don't have 5642 in my first cell there, but that is M35. They've kind of truncated it. So if you go across here to M35, you'll see I too have 5642.0. So don't panic. They've just kind of shortened that. So do check the numbers from 35 on down. Compare them to the values in the screen capture. And if yours match, as mine do, then we're good. Pat yourselves on the back and we can move forward at the bottom of EX158. So let's view the formulas for the running total. Select cell M22. So come up here, select cell M22 and go up there to the formula bar and look at the values in there. You should see equals sum in parentheses, $L, $22. Remember, that's an absolute reference, colon L22. So L22 is a relative reference, does not have the dollar signs, and that changes if you were to copy the formula and reflect the next cell down, but the absolute always refers to that cell with the dollar signs. Select cell M23. Let's view the formula there. Okay. And you can again see that absolute value L, $22 has been taken and retains that value points that same single cell, whereas L23, now see this was 22, this is 23, that's relative, it moves on down. So the difference between the L22 remaining unchanged and the L23 is a relative reference. So select each cell in column M and review its formula. So just kind of go down the list here. And look at that. Each one of them refers to the absolute stays the same, L22, and the relative reference changes 27, 28, 29. You guys see the whole deal. Let's save the workbook. We haven't done this in a while. I get kind of sweaty and nervous when we don't save our workbook. So Control+S or depress the diskette icon. Okay, I'm turning the page. I'm wanting you to read and to absorb all the material here in the book as we go. And I'm fast forwarding to page EX162 where I'm going to continue with the tutorial. So let's copy the calories burned, summary statistics, and formatting with the fill handle. So in cell K13, let's find K13 here. Scroll up a little bit. Enter calories burned. As the label. And then let's select J14 to J18 as our range. So J14 to J18, right there. Select that as your range. Okay. Notice they've got the formula up there. And down here at the bottom there's a fill handle. See how my mouse just changed there? That pointer became the fill handle. Let's click and drag the fill handle over the range K14 through K18, like that. Did everybody get the same values? In fact, check the screen capture at the top of page EX163, figure 321, and voila, I've done it. Managed to replicate the book once again. Hopefully you have too. If not, go back, check your values, edit, undo, and try that again. So make sure that the values are over there. And we're going to format that range now to display one decimal place. So let's make sure that we take and format the display one decimal place. Come up here. There we go. One decimal place. Now I'm going to page EX165. I'm going to use the autofill to enter the calendar date. So let's go to cell F22. F22, right there. And enter 81, so 8/1 8/2016. Looking ahead here as far as I'm concerned. This is the first date we want to use for the series. Now select cell F22. So make sure it's selected. That's the first date in the series. And drag the fill handle to the range F23 all the way down to F44. Then release the mouse button. Autofill enters the calendar dates ending with 8/23/2016 in cell F44. Now we want to fill the dates of weekdays in August. So make sure the range F22 to F44 is selected. As you can see, it is still selected in mine, but you can always go back and reselect it if you're unsure. And cell F22 contains the first value for the series. It'll be entered in the range F22. So on the Home tab in the Editing group, let's click the Fill button and click the series. So see the series? It's got a ... the ellipsis. That tells us a dialog box is going to open up. There it is, just as promised. Now in the Type section, we want to make sure that the Date option button is selected. So you see where it says Date Unit there? Let's make sure the Date option is selected, and My Radio button is selected, so we're good. We can turn the page to EX166. And on Step 4, EX166, it says in the Date section, click the Weekday option button. So right here, Weekday option button. Okay, got it. That series includes only dates from Mondays through Fridays. Okay, so we want columns, we want date, and we want weekday. Just go through and double check, and then click the OK button. Let's watch what happens. Whoa, that was cool. Did you guys see the numbers kind of change before your eyes? I did. Don't blink. All right, check the screen, capture, figure 326, and we're good. Now we're going to work with the date functions. We want to display the current date with today function. So this is another built-in Excel function that came from the creators. Let's select cell G2. It's a G2 thing. G2. There. Select that G2. And on the Formulas tab in the Functions Library, so the Formulas tab in the Functions Library, we're going to click Date and Time button. So date and time. See the date and time button right there? Point at it, it says date and time, add a time function. That's what we want to do. So let's pull that arrow down and all the time functions become visible. We're wanting the today function. So click on today. It's going to return the current date formatted as a date. Okay. A dialog box opens and indicates the today function requires no arguments. That's good to know. Click the OK button. All right. So let's look at that formula. Equals today and empty parentheses. This is where you would have put the arguments inside the parentheses, but like that previous step just showed us, there were no arguments required. Arguments are simply information. I know you think about your spouse, your sibling, your friend, whatever, you guys have a disagreement, but an argument is actually data, anything you can put in the parentheses there. So it's not a bad thing when it comes to Excel spreadsheets. So verify the current date is displayed in the cell. Format the cell using the calculation style. So let's go and format that cell. Use calculation style. So format that cell, calculation style. So you guys are looking over here and looking for the calculation style. Do that. Click on it. Okay, good job, everybody. Now we're on page EX168, humming right along. Again, you're doing the reading. You're taking time out there to do that. And cell G7. Let's click on cell G7. So cell G7. Enter 8/1/2016. So 8/1/2016. Specify the date the workouts will begin, and then format the cell using the input cell style. So there we go with cell G7, and we're going to format that using the input. So input style. So go to cell styles, do the input style. Perfect. Okay. And then in G8, let's click on G8. We're going to enter equals F44. That displays the date of the last scheduled workout, which is 8/31/2016 in this instance, and then the format cell using the calculation cell style. So come up here, cell style, and calculation. So click on calculation. There you go. Got it. And cell F22. Let's click on cell F22. So A, B, C, D, E, F, 22. Bingo. Enter the formula equals G7. Okay, replace the date with a reference to the start date you specified in cell G7. So the value looks the same, but the underlying workings have been different, have been changed. So it still displays that, but there's actually something underneath there that's in the cell now that refers back to. Select cell F23 if necessary. So go back up here, select cell F23 if you need to, and click the insert function, the f of x up here, button. And the insert function dialog box opens. Type working days in the search. Working days. And click the go button over here. All right. So, when the select a function box, we want to click workday right there to select the function, and then click the OK button. The workday function arguments dialog box opens up. All right, in the start date box, type the cell reference F22. So F22, specify that's the one that contains the start date I want to use. And in the days box, type 1 up here. And that's going to specify the number of work days after the date in cell F22 that you want the formula results to show. So click the OK button. And now F23 contains the formula. So go back here and you can see that F23 contains the formula workday, and it's got, you can see that formula up there, workday F22 in parentheses, comma 1, and displays the date 8/2/2016, which is the next workday after the 1st of August. So we want to use the same formula to calculate the rest of the workday dates, so we can use the autofill to quickly repeat the formula. Let's select cell F23, and you see the fill handle. It's our friend. And we can select cell F23, drag the fill handle down over the range F23 through F44. So see how fast that is? That's really handy, that fill handle. And now they go sequentially. You can see that all the way down. Now we want to format that range with the calculation cell style. So go to the cell styles, pull that down, and let's use calculation. Very good. And you'll notice I didn't get F22. You can just use the format painter and do that. I didn't actually go back and select that, but it was an easy fix. So if that happened to you, do the same. Now in cell G7, let's enter 9/1/2016. So in G7, let's go up here, scroll up to G7. And in G7, we're going to enter 9/1/2016. Okay, got it? That's our new start date. And watch what happens here. Let's review the dates over here. Whoa, everything changed to reflect the new start date. So just kind of double check, make sure everything's done, and review those dates. So you should have the date starting with 9/2 in cell F23, which it does. And you should have 9/5 in cell F24. There it is. Yep, 9/5. Good. And you should end with 10/3. So let's go all the way down the bottom here, and we send with 10/3 in cell F44. So good job, everybody. Again, if you had some trouble, go back and compare the formulas. Check that. And in cell G7, let's go back and enter 8/1/2016 to return it to its original value. Now I'm feeling kind of like I've just been put through the paces there, because weren't we here just a minute ago? Oh well, they wanted us to see how cool that is when you change the value, and I agree, it was cool. Okay, and the dates down here have been all changed again. So hit the save button. If you haven't done this recently, hit the save button. I don't want anybody to lose what they've done. So I'm going to stop the recording now. We got a good 15 minutes going on.